After decades of putting everyone else first, this is your time to shine. Welcome to the Sass and Soul podcast, where brilliant women just like you are finally putting themselves at the top of their to-do list. You are ready to reawaken your dormant dreams, take center stage, and unleash your full creative voice. I'm Cindy Kennedy, a seasoned life and leadership coach, global speaker, yogi, and the founder of the Center for Sass and Soul. I'm here to accompany you on your quest to live a wildly purposeful and pleasurable life. After all, success is personal. It's not about following a script, but answering the calling of your soul. So get ready to join me and my global friends as we explore how to reclaim our sass and lead from our soul. Welcome back, you fabulous women on the leading edge of success alignment. I want to talk about two things today, and that's why I'm giving you long pauses between them, because I want to accentuate them. I want to discuss and explore with you spirituality and leadership, and the potency of making sure that we are honoring both. There was a time in my life where I completely downplayed what I would have called at that time my own spirituality. And what that meant to me was I had this real longing to feel connected to something beyond myself. I was a deep thinker. I was a big dreamer. I was wanting to understand the world and nature, and I felt very, very connected to nature and animals. I always fancied myself an animal whisperer. And yet I would never really talk a lot about that, because I think when I was little, it wasn't really a topic of conversation. I didn't grow up any religious household at all. Really, our religion was nature. My dad would even say that, and I follow suit with that in many ways. So I didn't really have a language in which to engage in conversations as a kid. And then I got more into my late teens, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a personal development book, which isn't always about spirituality, but it was the first time I ever opened up a book, and it really talked about something beyond us. And I had a place to kind of explore, which was quite exciting. But even when I remember my first boyfriend, I always kind of downplayed that part of me, thinking that it was something that might not be seen as good or something that might just be seen as a little bit weird or strange, because I was still trying to explore it myself and understand what spirituality meant to me. But just the other day, I'm coming out of Kohl's and I hear, "Cindy, Cindy." And I turn around and it's an old colleague of mine whom I haven't seen in a while. And it was lovely to see her. And she said, "Cindy, I see your business everywhere. Like you are doing so much. It's really exciting. Can I ask you, what's going on?" And without really knowing what I was going to say, I said to her, "Well, I think a big part of that is that I have been embracing more of my spirituality and really honoring that, not just within myself in my own way of daily living, but also within my business. I've been incorporating parts of myself or parts of the world that I am excited about, and I'm sharing that with my clients. And I'm inviting them to explore this, not as truths, just as principles or explorations to see how these ideas can help them if it feels right for them." And her eyes lit up, and she shared with me how she has recently disengaged working with this other group of people because, as in her words, they had no spirit. They were very, very motivated about success. Great, love that, go for it. But she said there was no sense of spirit or no sense of something bigger or a lack of deeper meaning. And she felt a full disconnection with this group that she'd been working with to really, really grow her business. And then she started sharing about how she's now moving into things with greater ease, creating different products and speeches with greater ease by attuning to her own spirituality. And the more I speak about this, the more other human beings who understand or want to deepen their understanding of our interconnection between each other, the more I speak about that, the more they come towards me. And the more I share of myself and what I'm learning, the more my clients, different clients, start to pop out of the woodwork. I want to make sure there's nothing that you are holding back yourself, thinking it's too much or too little or doesn't belong. Because when we bring these parts of ourselves forward, not only are we more ourself, but different people who we're meant to connect with will appear. So for me, a big part of the success and the growth that's happening for me right now in my business and personal life is really from me exploring my spirituality deeper. But I also want to really talk about leadership, because right now, in my mind, what I believe to be true is that we need more leaders who are connected to spirit. Now, for some of you, that might be religious-based. For me, it's not. Because what I mean, for me, spirit means source. The source of your own wisdom. The well of meaning within you. The depth of your own knowingness. That, to me, is spirituality. Because the more we connect into that, the more we feel this deep connection and love and sacredness of all beings. And imagine if leaders, the leaders that you might say leaders outside of us, were connected to that. Would we be experiencing some of the atrocities that we are today? Leadership, in its own definition, used to be a person who guides and influences others. But the definition doesn't talk about a person who is guided from a deep source of well-being within themselves. So for me, spirit is your deepest wisdom within you, and leadership and leading and being a leader is about being that guide and protector of that deep wisdom out in the world for yourself and for everyone. So if you're listening to this, I know without a shadow of a doubt that you are a spiritual leader. That's what you're called for. Because true leaders reflect and guide and shepherd their own wisdom, their own imagination. That's leadership. And that is spirituality. So I speak with you today, and I share this with you today because I want you to honor the deep wealth of wisdom within yourself. And I also want you to define yourself as a leader. The more individuals who define themselves that way, the more we start to shape the world. And don't wait for others to shape it for us. So we're getting a little bit deeper here on Sass and Soul, but you are deep and you are full of meaning. And I can't wait to see what you do with your own spiritual leadership today and tomorrow. I'll see you next time. Remember, you are more powerful than you know. So live with sass and lead from your soul, and I will see you next time.